Okay, it's back to work tonight. The elevator started taking corn today. They had to do some work on a bin. They're having issues with their power sweep, so they had to drain it all the way, and that's the bin that they go in to cool out of the dryer. So they've been down, which ain't nobody been able to run because of the snow, so ain't been no big deal. But they finally got opened up about 2:30 this afternoon. So Dad got his truck ran in, I got my truck ran in. I'll run the gravity wagon in this morning, get that empty, and with all that going on, we are going to run the combine up north to the next field. I need to adjust my mirror. I need to get new mirrors for this thing that are better than these junk things. Probably just gonna go up there. I'll shell a hopper off. That'll get the front end roads along the road opened up and give me room to get trucks in or off the road. Probably won't stray too far off the road, but that'll get me off the road. So luckily this is sand ground, and hopefully by the time I get done up there, I can weasel my way back here. I got one field that you have to load off the road because, well, it's a dirt road and there's no way to get all the way off, or you gotta have it on the road. And the other one I can't load on the road because the road's too far away and it's just not a good road to really have a truck on. It's too busy. And then we go to my uncle's, and I gotta figure that out because the driveway's all screwed up now and blah, 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 blah. But anyhow, we're gonna have a little road time here, so we'll catch you guys when we get to the field. All right, I just pulled in. We can talk more about this field in the daylight. Needless to say, it suffered from an extreme lack of water. We're right on the edge of where the rain stopped heading north. You start going too much further north of here, and there was corn and beans that were dead by like the second week of August. Like the beans never made it to maturity, the corn never made it to maturity. It ran out of water. It ran out of water and it died. So I'm fortunate that it's probably going to do. I'm going to guess 150, 160. We'll see. If I can get that much, I'll be satisfied. These first 16 rows aren't going to do so hot because this is where Bob missed it with the sprayer. And by the time I realized that, it was too tall to get back over without drops, so it wasn't worth running up here. But anyhow, let's open this up a little bit so we got a place to park some trucks. Coming. Bear with me. snow disappeared like crazy. It didn't take long at all. I wish I'd have been there to see what he did, to know how he did it. It was exactly 8 rows. It was like he was completely off. Alright, I got. Not gonna lie, I was hoping I wasn't gonna be able to shell quite that much. But these kernels are very small compared to what I've been shelling. I do think it's a lot drier because it does not stack at all. I got right here, I accidentally yanked on the hydro just a little bit too hard and it waterfalled over the front on me. But it's hard to make any sort of judgment off end rows, so we get off into the actual meat and bone or meat and taters of the field, we'll get a better idea. But like I say, I'm hoping for 150, 160. I think that's attainable. But just to give you kind of an idea, this is the same 99-day hybrid as that last little field I just shelled, and this is a good place to sit. Very, very similar soil types between the two fields. They're both very light, kind of sandy. Very well drained, no wet spots. That other field is probably 10 miles, maybe more, kind of southeast of here. Probably actually more than that as the crow flies, probably closer to 15 miles. With adequate moisture, and that corn in that field was dang near as tall as the combine. And you come up here, same hybrid, same soil type, very, very similar nutritionally, and it's barely even up to the catwalk up here for the engine. That's how much difference there was in water between this and down closer to home. So like I say, up here I'll be glad to get what I can get, because you start going a little bit north of here and there are fields that it was like 1-2 foot tall corn and you're smashing the head right down in the ground to get it, the whole field. I've seen some pretty bad corn up this way, so be thankful for what you got. But anyhow, I'm gonna head on home. Ain't no sense in bringing a truck up here because it'll be 8 o'clock by the time I get back up here. So with that being said, we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Hopefully get at it. I'll bring the 1955 and the grain cart up here after work, and we'll go from there. So catch you guys tomorrow in daylight. Okay, we're up here kind of in the daylight, a lot more daylight than what it was yesterday when we got here. Shelly helped me move the 19 and the grain cart up here, so that's here. Unfortunately, I am by myself tonight because Dad got called down to Peoria, Illinois to do some work for Caterpillar. He had to I think there was like 8 or 10 hydraulic lines he needed to bend for a machine they're working on down there, on one of their production machines. Obviously not a piece of equipment there, but anyhow, I guess he has some machines down there that he built that he has been down there to service and blah 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 blah. And I guess one of the guys down there that's in charge of maintenance, because I guess Caterpillar, at least that facility, doesn't have an actual like maintenance crew per se, at least not that has the capacity to make hydraulic tubing. But I guess one of the guys down there that's in charge of that kind of stuff likes Dad's work so much that he requests him by name whenever they have something, which kind of annoys Dad because it's never anything like he drove 2.5, 3 hours down there for like an hour and a half worth of work to turn around and drive 2.5, 3 hours back. It's kind of one of them deals. But I think they pay him for the drive down there and stuff too, so I mean it all works out. It's just kind of a nuisance thing more than anything. But anyhow, that's where Dad's at, and he's not back yet, so I'm gonna get his truck full, take it back, park it, go get my truck, bring it up here, fill a cart, and then I'll drive my truck home tonight and dump it in the morning. And I think I'm only gonna work till noon tomorrow and come up here and go after it, because they're running hours 8 to 4 Saturday and 9 to 4 Sunday. But since the ground pile's they're filled up, all the trucks have to go across the pits at the main pit now, and the lines have been ungodly long because there ain't nobody around here done yet. There are some guys that are getting close, but there's also a lot of guys with a lot of ground left to cover. So, yeah, gonna be a lot of hours spent waiting in line this weekend. But we should still be able to do fairly decent. If I can get this done Saturday, which I think will be doable, and start moving back and I think we can have a decent weekend. Maybe, hopefully. So I'm gonna let her warm up and go at it. Kicker of it is it's not even 6 o'clock yet, it's already this dark. I hate this time of year. It's 5:53. This time of year, it feels like 6 o'clock at 3:30 by the way the sunlight is. Well, anyhow, we'll catch you here in a minute after she warms up. Truck swap already, as you can tell. The field is probably 75% opened up. But I got enough worked off that I can start working on the long rows, and then I'll open up the rest of it tomorrow. I do have one slight malfunction at the junction. My alternator belt is a touch loose. It's not like flopping, but it's got a little bit of slack in it. And when I turn all my lights on, it's fine until you go wide open. And apparently at that point it's spinning just fast enough, pulling just hard enough, it'll slip the belt a little bit. If I just run my road lights, it's fine. If I flip on all the work lights and then run with it, it slips a little bit, and then it turns the light on and throws the alarm. It's kind of annoying to listen to, so I've just been running with the road lights. But everything you got to go through to get to it, you got to go through the trap door in the grain tank, and it's dark in there, and I just doubt that's a tomorrow in the daylight project. So anyhow, keep on keeping on. Good load on the cart. Combine's empty because I want to be able to tighten that belt up first thing tomorrow before I start it up and get everything warm in there and make it hot to the touch. So leave the combine empty so I can start the worker. Yeah, so I can tighten it up when everything's cold. But my trucks, both trucks are loaded, and there's a load on the cart, so not a bad start. So we'll catch you guys tomorrow to keep on keeping on. All right, we're actually up here in the daylight. I got more worked off up here than I thought I did, which is good and bad. But to get 150 bushel an acre off of here, I need like 9.5, I can call it 10 loads. I don't know if that's attainable or not. It's hard to tell how this is doing. But anyhow, I got my tools here. And I'm gonna get the 19 warming up so I can unload the cart. And while that's warming up, I'm gonna tighten my alternator belt on this thing while it's all nice and cooled off. Yeah, ow. Beautiful day. Could almost stand to be in a t-shirt. Hard to believe that we were... I lost my R pin. Hard to believe that Monday we still had like 14 inches of snow on the ground in places. But anyhow, let me get up here and we'll get this belt taken care of. I might be able to do this from the front. The pinch bolt's right there, but it's not like super loose, but it's just loose enough. Oh, and now that it's, I tried spinning it last night, but the belt was warm. Now that the belt's, so yeah, that was my problem. It's weird that it just happened randomly, but all the other belts are good, so. Okay, let me get this tightened up. Not fun. Hour and see, I scaled in at 217 and there was 3 trucks ahead of me before I hit the scale, so it's probably 10 minutes to get to the scale, and I scaled out at 408. So however long that would have been. Dad was 2 trucks, or well, he was, there was me, the semi, and then Dad, so he was right behind me. What time is it anyhow? So I should, it's not going to take me long to make another load. Try to get one more down there. I'm not going to make Dad sit through that line, so I'm just going to get one more on me. I'll haul that in, then I'll come back up here, fill everything up. And then hit it tomorrow. And I tell you what this field is lacking in yield, it is more than making up for in grain quality. Oh, that load I just hauled in was 59-pound test weight, 17.1 on the moisture. I will take that. But you put all that together, and with the shrink, that put a 316 bushel load on my truck, which that's right up there with probably one of the heaviest ones I've ever hauled on it. I didn't think there was that much on it, but a 59-pound test weight corn sample will do really good things for you. So this is Wyckoff 2299. It's 99-day hybrid. This will be my 3rd year planting it. I think I planted it last year. Can't remember if I planted it 2 years ago or not. But anyhow, I really like this hybrid. Specifically because of the grain quality it produces. Last year it was my best yielding hybrid. which ain't saying much because last year yields were crap. But last year was my best yielding hybrid, had the best grain quality out of everything I planted. This year, it's not going to be my best yielding hybrid, but so far it's going to be the best grain quality by a lot. So I think I'm going to plant more of this next year. And the other thing I like about it, and I noticed it last year and I'm noticing it again this year, it goes through the combine a lot clean. Like, it doesn't pull as much trash through the combine. I don't know if it's because it's not as leafy or if the stalk's stronger so the rolls pull it down more thoroughly or what, but I really like this 2299. Like I say, it's not like last year. It was my best yielding, but the deer stayed out of it. This year, just lack of water was kind of hurting it, but it's been a good hybrid for me. Next year I want to get it on. I've been putting it on my lighter ground. Next year I want to try it on some heavy ground and see what it can do with some adequate water. Yeah, I'm liking it. Well, I parked in the same exact spot I did the first time, and it came out the first time without a problem. Apparently the second time was too much. It ain't loaded any heavier, probably actually a little bit lighter. So they had to bring in a chain, and it shouldn't come out too hard, but doggone it. Hopefully he gets up here in time and I can still make it down to get this thing in. All right, we got it yanked. It came right out. I threw a chain around the axle on the cart and a chain around the tow hook on the front bumper, and it yanked right. I barely even had, I just had to give it the initial jerk to get it out of its holes, and then it walked itself out. So it's more of a nuisance stuck than anything else. But we're gonna not park in the field anymore. I thought I was good, but yeah. So with that being said, Dad took that truck in, so I wasn't gonna make him because I didn't figure he'd want to ruin his entire evening. But yeah. So truck, it's back, it's loaded. Dad's truck's loaded. Cart's got a load on it. Combine's full. So between the cart and the combine, it's dang near 2 full loads. Which is going to mean we're knocking on load number 8. And I'm going to guess there's at least another full load and a half, possibly 2 full loads back there. So we should surpass 150. Every load so far, except for the very first one, has been over 300 bushel, thanks to the test weight. So hopefully that remains for the rest of the field, and we should turn out fairly decent. It might be a little over 160, which I'll take that. It's more than I was figuring out when we got out here, but anyhow, we will catch you guys tomorrow to finish this field up and hopefully get one, well, we'll see how tomorrow turns out. Anyhow. Alright, it's Saturday morning. Sitting in line at the elevator. They don't open till 8. It's about 7:15 now. I figured I'd be first in line, but there's 2 guys in front of me. Which I'd have been down here about 15 minutes ago, but our new barn cat likes to wander out into the driveway and see what you're doing, and you have to keep taking him back to the barn, and he'll run back out and you guys eat. So that took a minute to get him to where he wouldn't underneath the truck. But anyhow, gotta figure out the I gotta figure out the logistics of today, because there's gonna be 2 moves. So I have to figure out how we're gonna handle that. I gotta get done where we're at right now, and then move from there to a 4-acre piece, which is probably 2 truckloads out there, because I'm sure the deer ate it. Hopefully there's at least 2 truckloads out there. If there's 1 truckload, I'll be kind of sad. And then we got to move from there to a 12-acre piece. Don't know if we'll get to that or start on that today or not, because we're going out tonight for Shelly's birthday. So I want to be done at a decent time. So, but with finishing up where I'm at and moving twice, if I can get where I'm at done and that 4-acre piece done and just get moved and set up for the next field tomorrow, I'll consider that a win. So we'll just have to see how it plays out. Alright, 3 hours later, I finally have my first load hauled in, a load off the cart hauled in, and I'm finally getting the combine empty, and that back dump is the last off the cart. So I'll chill a little bit to top this truck off. I think Dad's down there in line right now. I gotta call him and see what his plan is. If he's coming up here, I'll probably start shelling to fill the cart. That way when he gets back, he's got a dump, and I'll take this when he's, yeah, you get what I'm saying. So anyhow, there's gonna be just enough that's not gonna fit in Dad's truck that it's gonna make a nuisance load. The cart's full. I gotta fill Dad's truck. He showed up before I had a chance to talk to him and took mine, so he's probably down there in line now. Sure is a crappy day compared to yesterday. I mean, it's warm out. It's just, it's not the kind of sky you want. It just makes you walk outside and go, bleh. Everything is down to the elevator. Dad came and got what was left off the cart. Huh. Well. And that'll get me to the next field anyhow. So like 4 or 5 tenths when I was still shelling. That's a bummer. But Shelly's in the truck. She's gonna follow me over to the next field and we'll go from there. So catch you at the next field. Okay, here's this little piece we're gonna peel off real quick. This is the one the deer ate all the beans off last year, and I never came and harvested it because there wasn't nothing, so I never bothered to fertilize it for this year, except I put 28 on it side grass. Figured there wasn't any point wasting money on fertilizer that never got used up. And I'm sure the deer have been out here too. complete trash. This field is done. It wasn't great. Dad's truck, it's full. It's not full. I could have heaped some more on it, but there's probably only 100 bushel on my truck, maybe 100, 110 ish. So I'd say 400 total off of 4 acres. It's just, and the kicker of it is, on paper, it is very good dirt. It just can't keep the freaking deer out of it. If by some miracle I come up with some ground for next year to start making up for losing my uncle's piece, this field's on the chopping block. The last 2 years I basically farmed it for charity, and you just can't keep doing that. As much as this sucks, I've been on this ground for at least 10 years, and at the very beginning you could make a crop on it. It was deer issues, but you could make enough of a crop to make money. Now it's just, like I say, now it's just farming it for charity. And I see now that the problem has got to that point, that little green hut, they just put in a deer blind back there. Should have done. I never understood why he never hunted this field. He always hunted his weed patches. It's like, yeah, your deer aren't over there, they're over here. But like I say, it's pending. If I don't find anything for next year and I need the ground, I'll farm it for another year and hope for more ground next year, or the following year. But if I could come up with enough, if I could come up with some ground to start going back the other way, then this field is going to get axed, because I just can't keep doing this. But it's done, so I'm getting a phone call, so I'm gonna run the combine home and get the truck, and that'll be it for the day. So that's it for this one. We'll catch you guys on the next one.